Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. Yeah, Cardano back at 115, probably related to the latest Bitcoin pump, and more about that in the Bitcoin video. But what I really wanted to talk about here with Cardano is my recent trade that I entered, which was here yesterday. I made you aware, I made channel members aware, especially on Telegram, that I entered here because we had this bullish flag. Yeah, we broke out of that. We were still holding above that ascending trend line. We had identified here, and if I go to the 1 hour chart, you see that in more detail. On the Cardano chart, we had identified here even an inverse head and shoulders pattern, yeah, and we had identified the neckline of $1.14, which was a very important point. When we broke above that, I had my eye on the chart and my eyes, and then took a look at it and made you aware when we moved up here. Yeah, we moved up to nearly 116. I told you that when we see that retest, I'm going to look into opening a long position. That was a short-term trade, long position. I told you I won't use a stop loss in this case, because if that trade doesn't work out immediately, I'm still willing to hold it. Yeah, it's not like a 100k trade where I really need the money for something else if it doesn't work out. No, I was not willing to use really a stop loss. Had I used one, I would probably have set it at $1.11 or something, and that would have been stopped out, absolutely. But there you go. Good that I didn't use one, and that is just one example why I don't like to use stop losses generally. Yes, you have to use them, obviously, if you do really strict trading, and however, they often create problems as well. Like in this case, I would have been stopped out. And of course, you can set it lower, but then at some point you set it so low that it doesn't really help. So what is happening here? What is happening here? For me, good that I stayed in the trade at the moment. Yeah, I think we can push higher now with Bitcoin breaking out. But obviously what happened, we retested. Yeah, we moved up. That is when I entered the trade at 114.5, yeah, or $1.145. But then overnight we retested again, made a lower high, and then broke down. Yeah, but broke below that ascending trend line. That is when I would have, if I had I wanted to, would have closed the trade here. Good that I didn't, because we now obviously see it pumping. That is obviously, as I said, related to Bitcoin. But what I really want to show you is this alternative formation, which I found in the chart now anyway, which had I closed the trade, I probably would now look at opening a trade again. And that is here this, you know what, I'll take that out and then I'll show you that. So we have here a triangle pattern, yeah, there and here. So a symmetrical triangle, okay? So if I take that trend line out, yeah, you can see it clearly, this symmetrical triangle, where we have not broken out yet, as it seems, or maybe just now. So you can see that here, yeah, obviously looking like we've got touch point here, touch point there, enough, I would say, and we just broke out. That is how it's looking like, and that is also consider that a trend continuation pattern, because you're coming from below, you consolidate, and then you break to the upside. So another bullish pattern, in addition to that inverse head and shoulders. Looks really like that we are currently breaking out. And this is obviously now also a potential opportunity, in my opinion, especially with a retest again. Ideally, you want to retest on the 4 hour chart. So basically a 4 hour candle retesting that resistance level, former resistance, flipping it for support, retesting it from above. Because as you saw yesterday, if you have only a retest on the 1 hour, which is what happened, it can then obviously break down again. Well, but even with the 4 hour yesterday, it wouldn't have worked out. That 4 hour candle also broke below that 114 level again. But now another opportunity. Yeah, another day, another opportunity. Certainly what is important now is to get above that previous rejection point, that previous high at $1.15.5. Yeah. Then the next target would be here, that 117 level. But all of that is just small stuff. What is now interesting, this would also probably be my take profit level now, as I entered at 114. If we take the height of that triangle, that would be the logical next target level. We can add it to the breakout point, that would be at around 123. Had we broken out to the downside, we could have gone down to around $1.02. So $1.23 would be, in my opinion, now a logical take profit level. Yeah, if we add the VPVR, and we can see in a little bit more detail where we might see actually at the next peak. So let's do that. And actually there is not a lot, probably at around 120, because then it really drops off. No, there isn't a lot really. It's all dropping off. This was a huge area of resistance here, and we broke that. Okay, so that is not very helpful here. The next technical target would also be here, this Fibonacci level, which is at 126. So depending on what the price is doing, maybe that would actually be the more logical level. That's the 0.5 fib level. And I am probably going to take profit there, because I think now that we broke above 115.8, 115, we broke above that triangle, I'll probably take profit just before that 50% Fibonacci level, at least taking parts of that. Yeah, trade out, maybe 50% profits. Yeah, looking good for Cardano at the moment. Also, we can see that on the 4-hour chart, the MACD is starting to decrease negative momentum again, indicating it could start to push higher again. The stochastic RSI is just turning to the upside as well. On the 1 hour, you already see a bullish crossover, so all of that adding together here. And on the daily, yeah, still in bullish momentum, still in positive momentum. So also that looking interesting. Yeah, that's my view on Cardano. I think now that we broke it, if we can hold above that triangle, we retest it from above, that could help Cardano to push higher. That's my view. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. And before I forget, this is the short-term view, yeah, what Cardano is going to do. This is not yet a confirmation of a sustainable breakout to the upside. It's looking good so far, but to get really confirmation that we have seen the low already and that we're not coming down lower, we need that first 5-wave structure up, and then ideally you want an ABC down. And when we then make a higher low, then I'll be very confident in saying, okay, the low was in. Had a comment today, when is that 55-cent level coming? This is still very, very likely that we come down. Yeah. Is it the primary expectation still? Not that sure now. That Bitcoin broke above that 45.8K level. I now need to see what the price is doing for Bitcoin in the next few hours, how it's going to end the day as well, and the weekly candle, very important. But I told you throughout that it doesn't necessarily need to get there. Cardano did complete the requirements for the correction, and while it was the logical next support level, it doesn't need to get there to complete the correction. It already did complete the correction here when it dropped below that wave A low, and told you at any time if Cardano gets going, and it could get going at any time. Last signal here was that descending wedge, yeah, out of which Cardano broke, and then it broke out of that channel, another bullish signal, and then it started to move up. So it doesn't need to get to that level anymore. So if you waited and waited and waited for the low, I always reminded you and try to warn you, don't always chase the lowest point. Dollar cost averaging, dollar cost averaging in at these lower levels, that was key. And we still have a good price for Cardano, absolutely, if we assume that Cardano in that next major wave up will really go above $4, and here $4, $5, $6.55. This is sort of the range where I would expect Cardano to land in the next wave 3, because what we're doing here is a wave 2, could be complete, could not be complete, whatever, and we don't know it yet, but the next wave 3 should take it to at least here $4, $5, so $4.50 maybe, and then maybe even to $6.55. So these sort of extension levels are what you're looking at in wave 3. Okay, so that's my view on Cardano. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.